How does one remain a virgin at the age, till the age of 28? In the 20s, it wasn't like I was ugly or my teeth were in good shape. Pretty good health. 6'2", about 170, wore 32-inch pants. And I had known since I was in grade school that my attraction was definitely towards the male. But why? Well, some might have been due to the fact of late onset of puberty due to medical conditions. Others might be that when I was in the Army I developed a phobia against touching skin. I'd wear gloves when I shook hands. It's hard to be sexually intimate if you can't touch the other person, isn't it? And partially it was just plain bad luck. In 1964, I was in San Francisco at a Chinese parade, Chinese New Year's parade, matter of fact, when a sailor picked me up. And it didn't take long talking to him that I realized he was cruising and I was cruisable. So when he suggested, let's go back to my hotel, I said, oh yeah, let's go. Now the funny thing happened. When he got to the elevator, it was like a fear came over him and he said, wait here, I'll be right back. Later I kind of think that maybe he was not used to taking the lead in setting up assignations, I think is a good word for it. And I definitely knew nothing about it. Well, that opportunity passed. A few years later in Boston, I had been wrestling with this guy in the billets. And you know, it was kind of obvious because I would get a hard on when I was wrestling him. And he asked a favor of me. And being the asshole, I think is another appropriate word that I am, I said, oh no, I can't do that. That'd be special. And he says, how can you have friends if you don't treat them friends better than a stranger? He says, you probably will never really have any close friends in your life. You don't know what the meaning of the word is. Well, that's pathetic. Because he, in general, was quite right. And life went that way until I was out of the Army. I was walking up one Sunday morning to the 7-Eleven from my apartment to get the morning newspaper. And it was cold. I had a winter jacket on. And across the street from me was a young man leaning against a pole with nothing but a short-sleeved tight shirt on. Well, I looked, and obviously probably looked a little too long. I went on, got my paper, but on the way back he was on my side of the street. And I asked him, it's cold? And he said, yeah. I said, well, why don't you come down to my apartment? And he did, and talked to him for a few minutes. And for some weird reason I asked to see his driver's license. Never understood what made me do that, but I did. And he said, why don't you use the restroom? And then next thing I know, he's in my bedroom. He says, come in here. And I walk in and he is stark naked, not a stitch of clothes. Well, when I left the bedroom I was no longer a virgin. But like always, people I pick up like that, turns out he was a heroin addict with mental problems, and I knew him just for like 2 or 3 months on and off. In fact, I drove him to the state insane asylum, which was modeled after a Scottish castle, really foreboding. But that is how to remain a virgin till you're 27. Okay, I think that's long enough, and I do thank you, and we will hit stop.